So I'm about to go to bed, or go to sleep. More precise language, but I don't know. So the last couple of weeks, I've been kind of on and off dealing with like sadness and stuff like that, and loss. I don't know. I guess the last couple of years, I've been dealing with this loss of a particular person. I don't know if I still have some of the videos up, of old times when I was sitting in the park and I blurted out their name. But, I don't know. Anyways, so I guess over time, this past Saturday, I kind of was rehashing things again. And I guess, the question is, why do certain people come in to our lives? It may be for a minute, it may be for a couple weeks. I mean, usually it takes a little bit longer, but maybe even a year. I don't know, or 2 years. But they have like some sort of effect on us for whatever reason. And I was reading Fyodor Davinsky's White Nights. It's about unrequited love. What else? The suicide and all that other jazz. But anyways, it's a good short story. A guy basically walks onto a pier, himself about to do the unthinkable, and then all of a sudden he sees a woman who's sitting on the pier waiting for her lover, and will the lover show up? I don't know. No one knows. She's there every night, and then but the guy and the girl kind of get close to one another, or at least he starts getting close to her, and the fourth night he wants to confess his love to her, and she ends up saying no, her heart belongs to another person, and eventually the lover returns or comes back, and eventually a year later, I guess she ends up getting married to the guy, and the guy get married to the lover, and then the guy that was on the pier with her who ended up falling in love with her, well, he had the option of either getting upset, angry, and instead of doing that, I don't know, he just kind of gave a good quote at the end of the short story. It's a good quote. I mean, basically the jazz is, I can never you know make you upset, or why would I darken your uh your good night, your white night, the wedding night, and he blesses her at the end. But he's always thankful. He was thankful, like, but the question was in that book, why do we meet people like that, Sometimes we're veering off on a path that I guess we shouldn't be veering off on. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, God's sovereign, of course, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know why He uses means to draw us back, put us back on the course. I mean, God controls the ends and the means, and maybe sometimes these things occur because to get us to think about life a little bit more deeply. I know after the fact, I really considered love as the chief end of all things. Especially the chief end. It's not that we're saved by our love. Christ saves us by the gospel, but it's that love is the end of Christ's law. God saves us by His grace alone. But then after that, it's like there's the rule of the law that believers are under. Not that they're underneath the law as a covenant of works, but there's a rule of life, basically. The law is used as a rule of life, and Christ's law is the law of love. You know, we ought to. I don't know. I guess the ultimate thing is we just don't know who we are impacting on a day-to-day basis. I mean, I'm not saying that you ought to have positivity every single day, but because there's multiple people that I'm impacting that I guess I'm realizing that I didn't know I was impacting even in my worst of days. So, I mean, and by worst of days, sometimes, I guess, I don't know, someone once said that they don't know when I'm upset. I don't know, sometimes I feel like always, whenever I'm upset, it's on my sleeve. So, I don't know. But I guess I'm just kind of more happy about the fact that I guess that one lady from the past, you know, came in, and she was very impactful. I've learned a lot about, unconditional love. You know, what does that mean? What does that mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. The gospel tells us what unconditional love is. You know, when we were enemies of God, Christ died at the right time. But but then again, how do I show that? What does that mean? Whenever I always say I can't show that perfectly. I'm not. I'm a sinner, but at the same time, I can still, my ultimate goal is to love people with uncondition, without conditions. And I kind of love this person without conditions. I don't know. But anyways, I guess this is just my thoughts. I'm thinking about it. Been thinking about it. So have a good night.